but I have to say, please wait until I get.
Welcome to another edition of the Citi Business Edition. This program airs every Friday on the Citi Breakfast Show after the Citi Business News. This morning, we'll be talking to a social enterprise that's doing some interesting things within the digital innovation space in Ghana. My guest is the co-founder of Young at Heart Ghana, Mr. Martin Bruce. He's the national coordinator for the company. Good morning, Martin. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Bernard. Thank you for having me.
So, Young at Heart is described as a social enterprise.
Exactly.
What do you guys do?
So, we are basically teaching kids IT. Our main focus is to empower kids with digital literacy, because we recognize the world in which we are now. We are in a tech age, and it's not going to change. It's going to improve there. But we've noticed that children, especially those in the rural areas, don't have access to the digital platforms. They don't have practical access to it. So Young at Heart has set out to give them that access, grant them the opportunity, as well as empower them to become digital innovators.
Yet you are a social enterprise.
Yes.
That means you sit between hardcore profit business and also almost like a civil society organization providing support. Explain to me this social enterprise concept.
Exactly. So the concept is such that we need money to do everything. So we can't run as purely as an NGO, because then you have to create a sustainable financing model to get money. At the same time, our main passion is not to make money. We've identified a social need and want to sacrifice to meet that social need. So we sit in between the space where you do programs to generate a bit of money, then you plow back that money to provide for areas where they can't pay. So we don't really make profit. We don't pay ourselves on.
When and how did you guys start this social enterprise?
We started in August 2013. We went for an outreach as KNUST students during the long vacation to a village in Bredi in the Ashanti region. Then we noticed that these were kids who were being schooled to go and write the same BEC as all the schools in Accra are writing. Yet you meet a GHS 3 pupil and the person hasn't seen a computer before.
Wow.
It kind of hit us. We knew such stories existed, but we didn't think they were that close. So after that outreach program, we decided, okay, then every Saturday, let's come together as a group, go back to them and teach them ICT. It started from there, and we branched into other areas, and we've grown since then.
So these are tech students at the time?
At the time,
studying
it was
computer science or different?
Not necessarily different courses, from sociology to land economy to engineering to computer science. Different students, because all you need to teach these children is just basic knowledge in ICT. They haven't seen it before. They don't even know what a computer looks like. So you just need that basic knowledge in there to teach them something.
So what are the specific things you've been doing since you started?
So now we've evolved and we focus on three main branches. The first one is our digital literacy outreaches and fairs. And this is what we used to do. So we take our volunteers in the tertiary institutions. We go there, we give these kids access to the computer, to the laptops. We teach them what they can use, the various softwares from Word to Excel to PowerPoint and all of that. That's the first branch. The second one is the ICT Hub and Maker Spaces. We have sustainability in mind. So if you go and spend just 2 hours with a child and you leave the child, that's it. What happens then? So we are setting up these ICT hubs and maker spaces in areas where about 3 or 4 communities can have access to. The ones they go there, they have PCs in there. We train a teacher to run the hub, and the children can have more lessons when we are not there. Then the final one, which is our freshest baby, is an e-learning platform called Anant the Teacher app. We noticed there wasn't any app or there wasn't any software in the digital space made for the African child, both the one in the city and the one in the rural area. So the one in the rural area doesn't have any access at all, but the one in the city has access to the laptop, all right, but there's nothing made for the African child. So we thought of using folklore, the stories we grew up with, linking that to science, technology, engineering, arts, and math lessons in the classroom. Combine the two and create a fun way. So whilst kids are having fun by playing games and all, they'll also be learning the same things the syllabus is teaching them. Those are the three main things we do now.
This sounds very interesting, and we'll get into the details. My guest is Martin Bruce. He's a co-founder and national coordinator for a social enterprise known as Young at Heart Ghana. Your co-founder is Josephine Marie Godwill.
Yes.
So were you mates at Tech?
Yes, she was my senior in Tech, but we actually grew up together from Koforeja. So we've been friends since kids.
Right. So all of you are young people who are interested in giving back to society.
Exactly.
So you said you have digital literacy outreaches, which you do periodically.
Yes.
Which places do you do this, and what has been the impact so far?
So in our operations, we have 4 volunteer bases now. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So the volunteers there take care of our programs in the Ashanti region. There's a volunteer base in the University of Ghana. They take care of our programs in the Greater Accra region. There's one in the University of Cape Coast, and they handle the Central region. Then there's another in Koforeja handling the Eastern region. So far, we've done over 50 digital literacy outreaches, and we've impacted over 4,000 children as it is today. And what
do you do in these fairs and training sessions and outreaches?
So for a typical ICT clinic, like we'll be having this tomorrow on Saturday 23rd, we'll take the students from our volunteer bases. They go there, they run a short refresher program with the kids on what the basic parts of the computers are. Then they do a practical activity like the business incubator. The kids group themselves into teams. They identify a need in the community, be it sanitation, be it agriculture, whatever. They come up with a company and what they want the company to do. Now they use digital platforms to run the company. So they'll use Word, for instance, to type what the company is about, who is what. They use Excel to play around with some financial models and what happens. They use PowerPoint to create a presentation, because at the end of the day, they're going to pitch to their students to invest in their company, sort of. Then they present what the idea is. So by the time you are done, you would have taught the child something in Word, in Paint, because they used Paint to draw the logo, in Excel and PowerPoint. And the child would have used those platforms to solve a problem. So they don't end up just knowing, okay, I know Microsoft Word. What can I use Microsoft Word to do? Wow. They practically do that. Wow. That's a typical example of our digital.
And how do you choose the places to do this? You just go to any random town?
So the few things we look out for, we are looking at, our programs have 2 children in mind. One is the typical rural child who hasn't seen a computer before. 2 is the typical city child who has access to all the digital platforms, from phones to everything. We settle on the schools from our partnerships with other organizations, sometimes from recommendations, and we'll see in which area the school fits, and that determines what program we'll take there.
Great. What about your ICT hubs?
So the hubs, we have 3 hubs in operation now. The first one we established is in Abu Abuja in the Ashanti region. There is a second one in Koforeja, Josu Koforeja. Then there's a third one which we established with the Accra project in Esiafo and Mount Foso in the Eastern region.
And how does this work? Where do you get the stuff from? Do you have people donating computers? How do you get money to?
Yes, so the first one, for instance, what we did was we embarked on a donation drive. So we appealed to companies. Normally companies change over their system, their computers, not necessarily because the old ones don't work, but maybe upgrading softwares and all of that. So we take a keyboard from here, we take a mouse from there, we take a monitor from there. If there are little things we have to fix, we fix them in there, and we stock the ICT hubs with them. Others to embark on international donation drive, like Dakar, for instance. Dakar project sourced for laptops from outside, they brought in there. We check, we make a little tweaks in there, and they are in there. Then we train a teacher who is in the school closer to the hub to run the hub when we are not around.
What about your e-learning platforms? Talk to me a bit about that.
Anansi the Teacher app. So it's basically defined as a culture meets tech app.
Culture meets tech app.
Yes. We don't want to lose our culture. We grew up listening to Anansi's stories, folklore, music, and all of that. We have our Edinkra symbols. We have our tourist sites and all. And on the other stretch, we have stuff we are learning in the classroom. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. But normally we find that these things, when in a typical classroom, they are a bit boring. So the children are not excited to learn. When you put these two together, you'll notice in the stories, apart from the moral lessons we get from in there, you can find science, STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math lessons in there. So why not take those ones, animate them, so that when you are building a reading culture in the child by allowing him to read the story, he's also seeing the world as a lab. So anywhere he goes, whether at home or at school, there are things around he can basically put together to do a quick experiment, and that's what the app seeks to do. So it's a gamified learning app. When you are done, you play a match 3 game. You are matching 3 tiles, and on the tiles are Edinkra symbols. Once you are done, you score an Edinkra card. So that will tell you what the symbol is, what it means, where it came from, and how you can apply it now. You also score a Learning Ghana card, which is a tourism card. So it takes you to maybe Boti Falls, tells you a bit about Boti Falls. And by this, children start getting interested in the tourist sites in Ghana. And they won't be speaking about Disneyland and all of that. They'll start talking about a breed, they'll start talking about Boti and all of that.
This is incredible. And is it doing well in terms of downloads?
Yeah, so we launched it on June 16th. June 16th was the International Day for the African Child. And to date, we've done about 1,200 downloads. The reviews have been amazing, and already we've started getting feedback of when is the update coming, when are we getting more stories, because the first version has 9 stories. So we're already working on an update. It's doing quite well.
You seem to be doing a lot of social good. So I can see the social aspect of your work, but where is the enterprise side? Where's the money? Because I'm seeing you talk about doing stuff for free.
But
so I gonna make money.
The money comes in. It's under our digital literacy aspect. We do something we call DigiFairs. So DigiFairs simply put together all the things you can think of when it comes to technology: robotics, gamification, virtual reality, coding, and all of that. And normally we have these fairs in the quote-unquote well-to-do schools. So we charge children a bit of a fee. They come, they get to explore all the various aspects of technology, and from there they can identify which part of the tech space they want to go in. So you charge a little bit for games, you charge a little bit for robotics, charge a little bit for the virtual reality and all. And also from the second version of the app, which we'll be doing pretty soon, we are looking at tokenizing the app. So there'll be an aspect where you buy a token, and the more you play, the more tokens you win, and you can upload it for a price.
This is incredible. So what about your team? Are they employees or volunteers? How do you mobilize people to do this great work?
Bernard, we have one of the most amazing human resources can come across in the country. These are volunteers, so students in the tertiary institutions who want to do public good. So far, we've worked with about 300 of them in KNUST, in UG, in UCC, Central, and all many other tertiary institutions. They are all volunteers, and they are doing this purely for free. So we have nobody on payroll that we are paying, not even the founder or the co-founder of the national team. Purely volunteer work, and they do it for free. This
is incredible. We're talking to Martin Bruce, the co-founder and national coordinator of a very interesting social enterprise called Young at Heart, which he co-founded with Josephine Marie Goodwill. They have 3 main aspects of focus. They do digital literacy outreaches. They also do IT hubs, and they have an e-learning platform which uses Anansi and other traditional folkloric characters to impart science, technology, engineering, and math concepts. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.